Right, so the sanctions are only against Russia, or are they against some other countries too?
Against Iran and I don't remember what for, and against North Korea for testing nuclear missiles.
Testing new. Yeah, that was interesting, huh? We found out about that on Friday, I think.
Yeah, one of them landed not so far from where we live. Yeah, it's not really clear to me what they're trying to achieve with those tests, to be honest. Do they like plan to land one of the missiles in California or something like that?
Probably not. Like they're already under sanctions, so I don't think they would do something to make the United States that angry. Basically, they're just trying to show that they could if they wanted to.
Well, sorry to interrupt, but like what they're doing right now is actually making everyone is angrier. Like Korea, I mean South Korea, Japan, China, Russia also not happy about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, especially the nuclear tests that they've done recently. So North Korea is doing two types of tests that are making people unhappy. They're doing these missile tests, which can just prove that if we put a nuclear bomb in this missile, we could launch it, we could reach this distance. So that's about delivery methods. And then they're also testing nuclear weapons, and these nuclear weapons tests are getting bigger and bigger every time. They've done about like 5 or 6 of these kinds of nuclear tests. And we know that they're testing nuclear bombs because we have like earthquake measurements all over the world, and we can use them to measure earthquakes, but also to measure nuclear explosions and decide, is this just a really big normal bomb, or is it actually a nuclear bomb? And now we're pretty sure that that they do have nuclear bombs. We don't know if they're plutonium bombs or uranium bombs. So they definitely have these two pieces of technology, and they're testing them separately, right? The big question is, are they high tech enough to make a really small nuclear bomb that they can put into the missile, especially these really long range missiles? And a lot of people think probably they don't have that technology yet.
I see. But if they do, and they'll like actually shoot one of those missiles towards, I don't know, states, for example, is there any way for United States or any other country to shoot down those missiles?
So the United States has a few different like systems in place. They're like missile defense systems. And there's one in place over the Pacific. So there are radar stations in Korea, probably also in Japan. And then from the United States, from Alaska, they can shoot these missiles that can hit another missile that's coming in the opposite direction. So it's a little bit like hitting a bullet with another bullet. It's really difficult to do, and they have successfully tested this missile defense system, but I have to say the tests are always, they're planned. Everyone knows where the missile's coming from. They know the path it's going to follow. So in those kinds of really controlled situations, we can hit a missile. But I don't know if we can hit one that comes unexpectedly. I don't know.
I see. Um, so far as I know, like China is the only one who can have some like influence on North Korea. And what do you think they will do if North Korea won't stop their experiments, or they're going to do anything at all?
That's really hard to say. Yeah, Donald Trump has put a lot of pressure onto China, saying, you need to do something about this. You are North Korea's only friend, only ally. And it's true. China, they have trade agreements with North Korea. For example, a lot of the food that goes into North Korea comes from China. So I don't know how much pressure they can put on North Korea, though. And if they do, I'm sure it will happen behind closed doors. They will not do this out in the open. So we really don't know how much pressure China is putting onto North Korea. Maybe it's a lot, and we don't know about it.
And if one of the nuclear missiles that will actually hit something like Japan or South Korea, for example, what do you think will happen? How the world will react to this?
It hasn't happened since the end of World War II, so, and that was 70 years ago, 70 something years. So if that happened, I think there would be an immediate strike by the United States. And mostly because the United States has to prove that when it says it will attack you if you hit one of its allies, like Korea, South Korea, or Japan, it needs to be a believable promise. So they have to keep that promise. So that would be really terrible, but I don't think that Kim Jong-il is crazy enough to do that, to be honest. I think it's just they're trying to prove that the United States should not come into North Korea and try to change their government. It's more about defense than offense. They're not trying to attack anybody. I don't think so.
Okay, do you think we'll ever be living in a world without nuclear weapons, or countries will feel frightened and will keep them just in case?
Yeah, that's a really hard question. And I think my answer will be a little bit sad because I don't think that these countries will ever completely get rid of nuclear weapons. They'll always want to keep at least like 50 or 100 of them just in case. But that would be so much better than the numbers we have right now. At the moment, the United States has 6,000 something nuclear weapons, and Russia still has 9,000 nuclear weapons. Other countries have like 300 or, a lot less. So if we all got down to like 50 to 100 nuclear weapons, I would be much happier with that.
I see. Well, I think it's all questions I had about North Korea. I just hope the situation will stop being that crazy at some time.
Yeah, it makes me a little bit nervous living over here because, we went to the beach the other day and we looked across the water and I could point, in that direction is Russia, over there's Korea, over there's China, and, these are all countries with nuclear weapons, not South Korea, but North Korea. And they're just right across the Sea of Japan from us. It's a little bit too close for my comfort.
Yeah, mine too.
Well, thanks for joining me today, Andre. This has been interesting.
Thanks for having me here.
And thanks to all our listeners. You can find this episode and future episodes on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, and most podcast apps. Just search for Hard Topics Easy English, as well as on the website where we also have lots of other information for you. That is hardtopicseasyenglish.wordpress.com. You can subscribe so you never miss an episode. And on YouTube and the website, you can find discussion questions, a vocabulary list, and hopefully the full tape script for this episode. These are great tools for people who are learning and teaching English as a second language. Feel free to leave comments and suggestions. All right, have a nice week, everyone. Bye!